Killer, another disappointing defeat at Cougar Park, but there's got to be some positives from that first half, 6-6 at half time.
Yeah, lots. Especially, we lost Pickers with a shoulder injury, and then Leo got knocked out. I think it was in consecutive sets, which obviously disrupted us massively. And I felt, to start like we did, quite a lot of errors early on, which probably down to the fact that we've not played for a couple of weeks. Defended our goal line really well, conceded a try, but to come back into the game and then come back in and make it 6-all at half time with all that going on, I thought it was credit to the lads, and I felt that we took a lot of positive steps forward today. Obviously the scoreboard doesn't reflect that. It blew out a little bit and it was a bit unfair on the boys, a couple of free tries at the end off kicks. I just felt after half time that we needed to score next because of how, what I spoke about. Obviously lost Leo, so we were down a rotation and Pickers, so we were down a couple of middles, and Lockie's had to go in the centre and Tarney's had to come on the back row, so it was always going to be difficult last 20 minutes, and we probably needed something to hang on to. I felt we probably could have iced some sets better, and especially because we had some momentum. We made a couple of breaks and we were rolling through after half time, and we've been really good. We just sort of didn't get over the line, and then started going away from things that had worked from us. It was very frustrating on that sense, but I'm a lot more pleased about how we look today and how it looks moving forward than I was in the previous 3 games. And we've had a week there where we lost 3 captains run on Friday, Bowsy, Beefy and Flan, and we've lost 2 players on the consecutive sets today. So everything that could have gone wrong this week did, but we were still there fighting to the end. So there are positives to take when we reflect on the game.
You mentioned that Pickers Gill, is that a serious one?
Yeah, it's looking that way. I think possibly a dislocation, not sure, but we're looking at a long-term one. And Leo just, he's classed as a junior sow, which you probably don't want to do. Again, our own teammates, a bit of friendly fire, so we're not getting the rub of the green, and that's what happens sort of when you're in this position and you're fighting, for a win. But we're not going to change what we're doing. We feel what we're doing is right. There's been improvement today. I think players came back into the side with a point to prove, and their standards were where they needed to be. And there's positives on that front.
Gave a debut to Jack Teamby as well, who's on loan from York.
Yeah, Jack was really good. Gabe's as well, showed some nice touches, some nice speed there. And the squad's going to get tested. We need a big squad. I think Hatto, Bowsy, Flan and Beefy potentially back after the Newcastle game. It'll be good to, we get them next week, but we've got to be really professional going into next week. 2 sides down at the bottom, and we've got to come, with a result. So we can't dwell on this too much, and then we go have a break and go into the second half of the season. Hopefully everybody's back and a fine-tuned, fully fit squad.
You mentioned there obviously 2 teams at the bottom of the table. It's not where we want it to be this year.
No, certainly not, and obviously not where I envisaged us to be coming in. But there's still 11 games left or 10 games left, and there's still something we can get out this season. The boys are working really hard. I was a little bit disappointed with the ruck speed today because we worked really hard on that and getting quick rucks, and I just felt we weren't given the opportunity for that. We didn't get 1-6 again in the game, which I find quite staggering considering some of the ruck speed and the penalty count was quite high against us. So obviously first people we'll look at is ourselves and go and review that. But following that we might need to look for answers elsewhere, because obviously the work we're doing, we feel we should be getting quicker rucks, and teams should be getting penalised, and we just feel the last couple of games where we've not been rewarded for that effort. So yeah, a little bit frustrated on that front. But listen, Crusaders top of the league for a reason. Got some outstanding players, well coached and professional. I thought it was a real good dig today, and we'll look forward to meeting them second half of the season, back end of the season. That'll be a good gauge to see how far we've come. Yeah, certainly.
Back to your original half-back combination, or the original 6-7, do you feel settled on that?
There's the time we've got to come and pick and stick. Obviously Connor comes back into the conversation at full-back with Pickers being injured, and we've been looking at different combinations. Sam Sam Aqua we've got obviously as well in there. You know, I thought half-backs were good today, especially in the first half. I just felt second half we didn't have a lot of good ball, and I thought we could have eyed some opportunities better, especially when we had that momentum in the first 15 minutes. I think if we'd got over them, we would have had something to hold on to and, you know, found that extra energy. So yeah, we won't make any rash decisions on the team, but you know, I don't want to be chopping and changing because some of these injuries are forcing us to do that anyway.
Back-to-back games you've been after for a while. We're up to Newcastle next week.
Yeah, let's get excited about it. It's the first away game in a while as well. I think we get to go on the road and we'll be really professional. They'll be you know, smelling blood as well and looking at an opportunity for, you know, a first win, a historic win against us. So we've got to go there with the right mindset and get the win, and then we'll have a little bit of a break and reset. But we can't go on holiday a week early, so hopefully we can have a good following behind us there and repay that faith that the support has given us. But they're outstanding again today and got behind the lads, and you know, everyone's suffering at the minute, including them, and good to put some smiles back on faces next week certainly.
Thank you.